Hello, today we're going to talk about the Ropen. A giant, well, maybe not too big, but it says the wing was be about the size of a small airplane, 25 feet. So I guess that's pretty big. But a pterodactyl that lives in Papua New Guinea, and it glows. There's a whole website dedicated to it. Well, not website dedicated to it, but to other things about living dinosaurs that lived alongside people. For what I can understand, it seems to live in the water and on the land and in the air, like a duck. But many people say it's a Rhamphorhynchus. No, one of those ugly-looking pterodactyls. Let's see if we got a picture of it around here somewhere. Like this, a snaggletooth-looking thing. I don't think it'll look like this. I think that's more AI-generated art. There it is. That's more like a Rhamphorhynchus. Let's see if I have no clue how to spell that. There you go. Let's see. Yep, this thing. Yeah, one of these. But yeah, and there are many people who believe that exist. I don't know if. Okay, that's a bat. But there are many people who think that they've seen one of these things. Okay, so it wasn't fabricated by a creationist. Okay, that's cryptid wiki. Believe it, what do you want? But yeah, I do think it's interesting to think about living dinosaurs and stuff like that, the cryptozoology aspect, because the more modern scientists, I say that with air quotes, try to say that dinosaurs lived a long time before man. So how can a Ropen survive? How can pterodactyls survive for 65 million years? They'll never think it may not be 65 million years old. I believe there probably some dinosaurs that got on the ark and got off the boat with Noah. And there might still be some around. Going by the biblical account, these aren't a problem for the Bible-believing Christian. But to other people, they are a problem. But yeah, so this mythical creature can fit into biblical explanations of the world. There's one compared to a person. Probably hurt to get bit by one, like a goose, or worse. Probably worse. Uh, um, there's one that looks like Rodan. I just think this looks kind of cool. But yeah. So the cryptid, the Ropen, can fit into the biblical aspect and the biblical view of the world when it comes to cryptozoological creatures. That it's like very bat-like, slightly glowing pterosaur. But yeah, I have the two articles listed below. It talks about shortly after World War II, as Western missionaries began to penetrate the deep jungles and remote islands of Papua New Guinea, PNG, stories of a flying creature called the Ropen, demon flyer, began to be reported. Duane Hodgkinson, that's a weird last name, was stationed east of Leh, near Finschhafen, however, PNG, as part of the Army Cavalry in 1944. About noon one day in August, he was walking down the trail through a clearing in the forest when he was startled by a crashing in the bush. He then shot it 47 times. I'm joking. As he watched a bird-like creature ponderously, that's a word, ponderously, rose from the ground, circled, and flew away. Hodgkinson, a pilot, estimated the wingspan of that to be a small airplane about 25 feet. It probably wasn't that big. It probably was just a little scared. He clearly recalls the dark gray coloration, long serpentine neck, beak, and distinctive head crest. Described as a nocturnal creature, the Ropen possesses two leathery wings like a bat, a long tail with a flange on the end, a beak filled with teeth and razor-sharp claws. An intriguing sea-flying creature, as see below on right, with a long neck, head crest, ribbed wings, and fantastical tails, split on the end like a flipper, flying above the islands of New Guinea. One is even shown having dermal bumps. Then there's that. Here's your sea monsters. There's two species of them. Smaller pterosaur is believed to inhabit the caves that dot the island of Rambunzel in the Bismarck archipelago. Reports seem to fit the presumed extinct Rhamphorhynchus, a pterosaur with a wingspan of 3 to 4 feet, like the common gato and Zimbabwe. In Zambia, the Ropen is said to have a taste for decaying human flesh, and has even harassed native funeral gatherings with Western missionaries present. Western missionaries present. Carl E. Bach of the Creation Evidence Museum conducted an expedition to Manus, where the missionary Jim Bloom he observed one of the creatures through a monocular night scope and snapped a picture of a strange print in the sand the next morning. In 1987, Tyson Hughes, an English missionary, began an 18-month contract to assist the Moluccan tribespeople of Surin Island, Indonesia, to develop efficient farms. Tyson heard stories about a terrifying creature called the orang bati, men with wings that possessed enormous leathery wings like a bat and live in the caves of Mount Karatul, an extinct volcano situated in the center of the island. Likely, this creature is similar to the Ropen from adjoining PNG. Stories from the people of Sunda, Indonesia, tell of the jerk, a flying dragon whose illuminated profile could be seen in the night sky. In 2017, Genesis Park staff followed up on reports from the jungles of Cambodia of a similar creature there. After hiking several days in the bush along the border with Vietnam, a number of eyewitness accounts were obtained. A nocturnal flying snake-like creature is known there by the name of Salt el Wala, although the sightings are very rare. In October 2004, Genesis Park staff conducted a 3-week trip to the remote Sassi Islands off the western coast of Papua New Guinea, somewhat south of the Manus Island group. The goal was to hike into the mountainous interior of Sassi to follow up on intriguing reports received from coastal communities on the south of the island. Dozens of the interviews were conducted, and the credibility of witnesses was carefully tested by the use of black and white profiles. After carefully collating the dozens of interviews, a composite drawing left, most likely characteristic possessed by the Ropen, was assembled. It resembled a dimorphodon. Okay, that's kind of cool. With the head crest, dermal bumps, however, it was said to have a 15 to 20 foot wingspan. Okay, so it was a good bit bigger. It said it has bioluminescence. It was also noticed by Evelyn Cheeseman back in 1930s. There's a book, and it says the two roads of Papa. The two roads of Papa. Okay, it's a strategic mystery because by no possibility could there have been human beings out there using flash lamps at intervals. In any case, they were too far to be caused by an ordinary electric torch. Our expedition staff observed a bioluminescent phenomenon as well. On Wednesday, October 27th, a large yellowish glow, approximately 20 to 25% the size of a full moon, was observed to fly behind one of the volcanic peaks. The light left no trail and twinkled around the edges. The whole sighting lasted for only a few seconds. As the light streaked across the horizon behind Mount Tulu, our team also investigated the interesting local artifact and intriguing carvings made by an unknown artisan. The statue shows a medicine man with a reptilian creature on his neck and shoulders. The creature displays lizard-like ear, a forked tongue, elongated snake-like neck, shallow beak, scaly membrane rings, dimmer bumps, round down its back, webbed feet, and a long tail. In one case, being swallowed by a crocodile. In the fall of 2006, a follow-up expedition obtained a first photograph of a Ropen light as multiple creatures were observed flying over a ridge at night. In 2015, a Canadian team went to the island of New Britain, and had a daytime sighting of what they believed was the Ropen's flyover. The similarities in these several independent lines of evidence produced a powerful argument for living pterosaurs in Papua New Guinea. A missionary pilot's experience, an ancient map, American World War II veteran testimony, a Highland native sculpture, and dozens of eyewitness reports from across the region, Indonesian islands, throughout PNG, and even Vanuatu, combined to make a strong case. For more information, see the full expeditions page. Again, I'll link this below. But I think this is interesting because dinosaurs existing in modern times would prove the Bible. And I just think it's kind of neat. Oh well, that's all I have to say about that. God bless you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.